Hello, everyone. This is Rob. And as we talked about a couple of weeks ago, I'm going to walk you through the steps of planning a quilt and understanding the basics of quilting. And so that you can understand patterns, uh, how to make your blocks, how to do so many things. And the first thing I want to say is we're going to start with a simple four patch. And the simple four patch is one of the most used, iconic, and along with the nine patch, the simple nine patch, between these two blocks, you can probably make 70-80% of all quilt blocks because they are based on these blocks. And what I'm going to show you is, like I said, we're going to start with the four patch. Okay, I have a blank one here for us. So we have a four patch. But if we split this into another four patch, like this, we have, if we do all four patches into four patches, suddenly we get a 16 patch. And you can start making your stars with half square triangles and things like that. It's a very powerful block. And don't think that it's complicated, because what you do is you work in these four patches or you work in these nine patches, because even if you split a nine patch into four and make this all four, then suddenly you get 6 by 6. That's a 36 block. You can do a lot of stuff with the 36 block. And the reason I wanted to show you is this is the quilt that I'm going to work on here. I've been designing this and been wanting to make it. It's from a vintage quilt. And we're going to go through all the steps of how to make this, but also discuss how it's designed and how it works. And this is the thing. This is nothing but a nine patch quilt. A simple two-color nine patch. You can make it scrappy, you can make it multicolor, you can do all kinds of things. But how this quilt works is, this is your main block, which is a nine patch of nine patches, which becomes a 64 patch if you count all these blocks in here. This again is the same block as this, but with the nine patch on each side taken out, and you just have the 3 9 patches in the center. Then this block is basically your standard 9 patch and a 9 patch. And then this again, this block is the same as this block. It's all just simple 9 patches, but when you look at it from a distance, it kind of has a curve to it. And I want to make this using 1-inch blocks. And that's another thing that we can talk about, is your block sizing. I tend personally to use 3 inches as my go-to. And then I will use 1 inch as my small block, 3 inches as my normal, Then 6 inches becomes your standard 4 patch, because if you make this with 1 inch finished blocks, this is a 2-inch block finished. If you make it with 3 inches, then it becomes 6 inches finished. And if you make it with 6 inches, it becomes 12. But when you add it with the 9 patch, if you go 3, you can have 3, 6, 9. Then 2 of these will be 12. Then 2 of these will be 18. I mean, it works in that. And also, if you keep your blocks the same size, 3 4 patches equal 2 9 patches. So that's how you can do these samplers where you see small blocks with big blocks. As long as you keep your blocks the same size, you can make it work out. And it's not that hard. Break it down and take your block and basically start putting a grid in it to say, is this a 9 patch or is this a 4 patch base? And I'm going to show you some blocks. I'll be right back. I have to go get them. I left them in the other room. And we will discuss the different blocks so that you can understand how simple they can be to make. Be right back. Okay, I got the samples. Okay, the first one, this is an orange peel, which is applique. But this is a simple 4 patch. This was designed to use charm packs, so each of these squares is 4.5 inch finished. And so you get a 9 inch finished block. And then this is a 4 patch, but then together you get a secondary pattern in the orange peel because of the angles. Okay. Here we go. Get this. And again, this quilt I made is also a simple 4 patch. These are 3 inch squares with 1.5 inch half square triangles. But it's a simple 4 patch. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then you have 1, 2, 3, 4, and just 2 here because this is the end. But it's basically built off of a simple 4 patch snowball turn. And this is a block with the triangle turned in, and this one here is also turned in, but this one is turned out. So here are 4 blocks, here are 2, here are 2, 2, 2. Simple 4 patch design. And it gives you this, at a distance, it gives you a curvy look, and there is absolutely no curve in this quilt, but it gives you that curvy look. And that's just 1.5 inch triangles on the corners of a 3 inch block. So there's that one. Okay. I've lost a block. Because it's the most important to show you. Here it is. This is called the memory star, right here. Let's see if I can zoom out a little bit. Okay, hold on, I have to stop. Okay, I zoomed out so you can see the whole block. And again, this is a 9 patch. But look how complicated this star is. But it's basically 1 here, the corner, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And that's this half, this quadrant, which is, it's basically 4 9 patches. So it's a 9 patch in a 4 patch. And it's just a simple block. And when you think about doing it in these terms, it becomes easy, because to make this quadrant you need half 3, and this again based on 3 inches. So 3-inch half square, 3-inch half square, 3-inch solid, 3-inch half square, 3-inch half square, 3-inch half square, 3-inch solid, 3-inch half square, 3-inch solid. But because you have 4 solids in the center, you can make that a single block. But still, the design of it is a 9 patch, which is in a 4 patch. Let me see if I can do this. Okay. Here we go. So we do our 9 patch like this. And what we're going to do is make this solid. Half square triangle, half square triangle, solid. Oh, you need another one in there. I forgot to put the 3rd row in there. But I mean, it's that simple. And as you work in these, that's all you have to do, is think of it as either 4 sets of 4 or sets of 9. And that way you can make any block. This is a 4 patch, this is a 4 patch, and this is a 4 patch, and this is a 4 patch of a 9 patch. And you can make the most complicated, most difficult blocks, but they all become simple. This is the thing with quilting. It is very repetitive. Over and over again, do the same thing. And I like to do 1, 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18-inch blocks. That's what I work in. I like 3s. That's my thing. A lot of people like 2s, which is 1, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18 that you can work in, and or 20. And but like I said, I like 3, and the reason I like 3, this is done solid, but if this fabric had some design, like this is like a linen look, you can actually see the weave. If you got down to 2 inches, it kind of, to me, gets too small. But then you work in 1 inch, and that's a whole different thing. That's precision piecing, which we're going to discuss in making this quilt. Like I said, we're going to go through each of the steps. Next week, we're going to talk about fabric planning and cutting for this. Then we're going to talk about sewing it and planning it. I am not a strip piecer. And the reason I do not strip, I learned recently why I don't like strip piecing. I had a stroke. And I have these moments. And they're not really long, but they're moments that are just kind of, my brain blanks out. And when I'm sewing long strips, I get wavy. They're not very straight. But when I sew short pieces, so I usually stay in working within 10 inches. That's my thing. Also, working with 10 inches, if you make a mistake, it's easy to throw them in your scrap pile. It's hard to throw a 40-inch or 44-inch strip in your scrap pile because you have to rip it out. But a small little 10-inch piece, you just throw it in your scrap file and do something with it way down the road. So, called lazy too. But like I said, and I like working in threes because I think a 3-inch square is big enough if your fabric has pattern to actually see the pattern itself of the fabric, so you can get fabric to do work for you. And we're going to discuss all this. But this is the basics. 70 to 80% of all blocks are based on one of these two blocks. The 4-patch or the 9-patch. Simple as that. And when you start breaking down your blocks in a 4 or 9-patch based grid, you'll start seeing how easy some of these are. And this does not include like fancy paper piecing of the New York Beauties or curved piecing of Drunkard's Path or things like this. This is just standard blocks, because if you made these quarter square triangles, then you can get like broken dishes. Half square triangles, you can build flying geese units. You can build the stars. See, like this memory star, these are flying geese in the center with half square triangles set around them to give you your star points in your color. And basically, it's a star within a star. And I really like this block. And I thought, I keep thinking about making a quilt with these, or putting this as a center medallion in a quilt. But I haven't decided what to do. I'm a very slow quilter, so this is going to be a long, drawn-in process. So I hope everyone has a great week. This is the beginning. How to analyze your blocks. Look at them as 4 patches or 9 patches. Some way they fit into one of these. They're usually a 4-patch of 4 patches, or a 9-patch of 9 patches, or a 4-patch of 9 patches. Simple as that. So everyone have a great week. Talk to you next week when we're going to talk about selecting fabrics and preparing them for cutting and getting ready to make this quilt. I don't even know what I'm going to name it. I found this, I saw this in an antique museum, this quilt, all made by hand, done in red and white. I'm thinking about doing it in blue and white. So, everyone have a good one. Bye. This is Rob. Thanks.